Hey guys, it's me, Kenneth at Talent Creative Props. I just wanted to go ahead and give you a quick breakdown of my work area. So it kind of doubles as a little bit of storage, but what I've got is I've got my Batman cowl and a few other sculpts right next to it. I have my Uncharted 3 holster and bandolier that I've been working on. Up over here I have the armor for a custom Boba Fett charity project I've been working on. But basically, I'm going to be tying in, see if I can get a better shot of this. I'll be tying in the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly movie into this. And if you recognize this, this is kind of like a faux shearling. This is what was originally used as kind of like the inside liner of the vest that Clint Eastwood wore. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and probably cover this side with some leather, and then over top of the leather I have this blue shirt over here. How well you can see that, but I'm going to be using this blue shirt. It's the closest thing I could find to the engineer shirt that he wears in the movie, and I'm going to be using this material cut up over top of this armor to expose the leather underneath, and that's going to have like some scarring on the leather and stuff like that, just to show some wear and abuse, and also some good protection for the wearer. But basically what I'm going to do is Boba Fett has Wookiee braids on his right shoulder. So on the armor's right hand side, I'll be having two nooses that have two circular punched holes midway through the noose. And what that's supposed to represent is, in Good, Bad, the Ugly, you have, of course, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good being Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood is the one that basically this whole armor is being themed after. However, the accessories and additions to this armor, the ugly will be represented by the two nooses hanging from the right shoulder. And that's because Clint Eastwood's character, the good, teamed up with the ugly in a way to get money for basically the bounty on the ugly's head. So Clint Eastwood's character, the man with no name, would shoot the noose at the very last second whenever the ugly was at the gallows. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do to basically link that part of the armor with the second character. The third character, I'm going to go ahead and kind of replicate the stitching pattern on a wider brown belt that goes across the bottom part of this abdominal armor, and I'm going to make it a little loose because the bad, he wears his pistol tucked into his belt. Clint Eastwood wears his in a holster on his right hip, and then I think it says right hip, yeah, and then the ugly wears his on a lanyard at his neck. So to link this armor also to the bad, I'm going to go ahead and have it to where this, it's a replica Webley spear gun that I got from a friend. So he was kind enough to go ahead and donate that to me because this is a charity project. So I've got this, and then I've also got the silver snake inlays for both sides of the grip. So these, I'm going to cover this with epoxy sculpt and then go ahead and sculpt it out to where it looks like a kind of like a carved bone grip. Just to give it a better kind of feel and look, because the original grips on this were, if I can find them, they're right around the corner. I may have discarded them. Yeah, so basically the original grips were just your standard pistol grips. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do kind of like a faux bone grip look. I'm going to go ahead and apply these silver inlays, which I've applied some dye into the recesses to give it a darker contrast in the small little divots here. And then I also sanded it down a little bit to reveal a little bit of the actual copper that it's made out of. So that'll be there, and then this whole thing is going to get a different kind of paint job, or not. I mean, it's really up to my own interpretation. But originally this came with a non-functioning scope. But quick trip to Walmart, and I found a nice scope that actually, you know, you probably can't see through it with this, but in either event, you can still see that this is a real scope. So my hope is that somebody's going to be curious whenever this thing's on display at the next convention, and they're going to look down that scope and see that, yeah, it's a real scope. So, I mean, ideally, I'd love to have like a blinking LED or something like that inside the scope. It wouldn't be practical on the user end, but it'd be cool for looks. So, but in either event, I'm going to go ahead and have this pistol. And the way that this links into the BAD for this armor is that the pistol is going to tuck underneath the belt that goes on the abdomen. So that'll basically symbolize the BAD in the way that he wears the pistol. Of course, the silver snake inlays, those are characteristic to the pistol that Clint Eastwood's character, the Man with No Name, that's his pistol. So this is kind of like an amalgamation of all three characters being represented in this armor set that I've been making. So I received these armor plates from the Artmer Project. You can find them on Facebook under Artmer Project. And basically they shipped it to me in this box, and I got all the armor and got to work on it. So pretty soon it'll be making a lot more headway as soon as they get this Uncharted holster done. So, but for the time being, I'm going to get back to working on this holster, and we'll see how it all turns out. So.